Hey there, guys. This is Jack over at High Red Bird, where I am tirelessly working to find new ways to make the keeping of exotic animals and pets more exciting, more affordable, and ultimately more enjoyable. And this is the week 4 update of raising my green cheek conures. Now, like we've done every week, I'm going to start off this video with a minor fight with the scale just to get it to the right uh, units of measurement. I want to measure these babies in grams. And as you can see, they are absolutely huge. They barely look like babies anymore. The younger one still has some feathers coming in. But these two babies, as of this week, weigh 79 and 74 grams respectively. So they are effectively adult sized. Now you will notice that they are no longer in their brooder box. They are being kept in a plastic tote that I have then modified by cutting out a hole in the top, replacing that with window screening, so there's good ventilation. But the babies stay warm. They're on a bed of pine shavings, and they are starting to get a very, very shallow amount of water and some finely chopped produce in their enclosure, which they show next to no interest in. But they are getting that every single day just to, try to get them to be interested. Now I'm mixing up the formula the same way I have before, prepping everything the same way we've done. We're using the same hand feeding formula, the same method, using the coffee mug to cool the formula down to the appropriate temperature. You can see that slow swirl. My goal there is basically just to increase the surface area of the formula so that it cools a little bit faster. Now I'm going to go ahead prep paper towels. So I go ahead, set some up for a work surface. That way I just have less mess on the table to clean up. Set up and fold them for the babies. And about this point I also did realize, hey, I'm, in need of a paper towel to clean my hands while I'm doing things as well. So I decided I can go ahead and have one. And while I added it to the stack at first, I realized, wait a minute, this would actually be better served if I just had it ready to go and it was right next to me. So I went ahead and I just got that ready to go for me, checking the formula because I knew I was going to need to check the temperature of the formula and I'd want to wipe my hands. And then I'll just use the work surface to dry the formula. So then I'm going to go ahead, keep swirling it. I'll also draw some up in the syringe, spray it back down into that coffee mug just to try to cool it down. And of course you can see that I sprayed it everywhere, but that's okay. It's not like I was planning to record this and post it online, so nobody's ever going to know, right? That's how that works. Now you can see that inside their container they also have some larger branches. I want to make sure that the branches that are inside a container for my birds are going to be really, really stable. But I do want to give them the opportunity to start climbing. And as you can see, they're watching me. They can see what I'm doing. They are climbing the 4 inches to the top of that perch, although they do fall down sometimes. As you can see, that's why they only get to climb a couple of inches tall. And as you can see, they are absolutely huge. It's really one of those things with baby birds. You go from, oh my God, when are you going to grow up, to, oh no, my baby's going off to college in a matter of days. So you can see they're still very, very excited about hand feeding. That feeding response that they give is absolutely ridiculous. So again, I use my hand over the baby. I'm not restraining the baby. But I am just trying to sort of limit the enthusiasm of that feeding response, because if they had the opportunity, they would have wings out, they would be losing their mind completely, which would mean they would spray feeding formula all over the place. And I already did that, so we don't need them to do that for this video. So as you can see, the feeding goes very, very quickly. And then I'm going to take out the paper towel for the baby, get it in that little bit of water, check the temperature to make sure that it's not too hot for the baby, because after all, they are still babies. Clean off their face, And then just check anywhere else, because especially when you live with another bird, there are places where you may have a little bit of formula. So you can see we're starting to work on just being comfortable around hands, working on stepping up, which is a maybe 25% success rate at this point in time. But they are really comfortable. They'll crawl around in my hands, they'll crawl up my arms. They'll sometimes go to fall, but that's why you just make sure that you have a really good hold on them. Now, this younger baby, you can see as I'm drawing up the formula, just like toddlers, they want to help. And whether or not they are going to genuinely be helpful isn't really a matter of consequence. They want to be involved and they want to help. Now, again, because your goal is to do about 10% of their body weight per feeding, since these chicks were 79 and 74 grams respectively, they are both going to get 8 cc's of hand feeding formula. You can see it's over incredibly quickly. They're really, really good at eating. They hardly make any mess at all at this point because they have gotten really good at eating, which is what you like to see in a baby. You like to see that they are growing up. Um, Now, this little guy does still have quite a bit of those feather sheaths on those feathers that are coming out. So the really fun thing is when they give a feeding response, usually you can see a cloud of dust because that feeding response is so active that it causes those feather sheaths to loosen just from them giving a feeding response. But every feeding, go ahead, take the opportunity, give your bird a good once over, check to make sure that the legs are sitting right in the right position. Check to make sure feathers are growing in normally. Always check their vent. You want to make sure that they don't have any signs of diarrhea, anything like that. Now, like I said, these guys do have a little bit of chopped produce in a bowl in their enclosure. And every single feeding, after a feeding, the goal is to just sort of agitate it with your finger, because if they're geared on you, they might be geared on what you're trying to show them. So you might have a chance of getting them interested in the solid food, but as you saw, that didn't happen. I do need to say thank you to my Patreon patrons for helping to make these videos possible. You can find out more by visiting Hi Red Bird on Patreon or clicking the link in the description section down below if you would like more information. Thanks!